Jarrett Allen was asked after last night's game, does he think that the Cavs have enough, and his thoughts on the possibility of a trade?
I mean, if you take away somebody, especially somebody in the locker room, a locker room presence, it's going to disrupt it. You know, that's just the end of the day. We're all close to each other, but as you know, that's how things go.
Do you believe you have enough in this locker room already to reach the goals that you set out for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every single night we go out there, even if we're missing people, you know, I feel like we have enough to win every single night.
And again, it's tough to argue with that. 40-10. They fell behind, I think it was 15 at the end of one and got it to 4 in the fourth without, as you mentioned, a couple of their guys.
Yeah, and Evan Mobley has been struggling as well. He hasn't been himself here for about the last week or so. I still think he's dealing with some issues from that calf injury that kept him out for 4 games, and he wasn't good against Dallas on Sunday, and he was really bad last night. He just didn't seem to have any lift on his shot or an explosiveness, and I just think something is still bothering him with that calf. Dave, as I mentioned before, the chemistry is so good on this team, and you guys see that sometimes in some of these clips, and from being there firsthand, the vibe in the locker room is terrific. It's as good as with any team that I've ever seen here in Cleveland. These guys genuinely like each other. They're always kind of, there's always some joking going on. Somebody's always giving somebody a hard time, and it doesn't seem to be for show. I mean, I think these guys are genuinely connected on and off the court. And I think that's got a lot to do with Donovan Mitchell and his leadership. I think a lot of it has to do with Kenny Atkinson and just the way he relates to players. He constantly talks about the lessons he learned coaching with Steve Kerr and kind of the culture that they built in Golden State. And he inherited a good one here. A lot of the credit has to go to JB Bickerstaff for what they've built here in Cleveland. And, as I said before, I think you can toy with the roster a little bit, but I wouldn't be too dramatic or drastic when it comes to the trading deadline coming up tomorrow.
So it sounds like you'd be more in favor of the buyout. So after the trade deadline, there will be another where some veterans asked to get bought out. That means you kind of can add them, and then you kind of take somebody from the back end of the roster and tweak it.
Yeah, and it's low risk, right? And I think we've seen the Cavs do that before. I mean, the buyout market has helped them. There's also been times where it hasn't worked. The Andrew Bogut, 43 seconds of a Cavs career, I think it was. So that market is always going to be there. And listen, I think Cavs fans should feel really good about the way the team is gelling, how young the team is, how the contracts are lined up favorably over the next several years. They've got that core 4. I think we've now come to realize that, yes, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell can play together. Yes, Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen can be on the court at the same time and not get in each other's way. So, there's a lot to look forward to with this team, and should be a fun second half of the season.